Welcome to Behind the DM Screen. Today on the podcast we are playing Is It a Railroad? Is It Not a Railroad? Which, despite popular belief, has nothing to do with trains. If you're unfamiliar with the term railroading in D&D, this essentially, or any RPG, essentially refers to the person running the game pushing the story in a direction that the players do not want to go, or twisting or bending the rules in such a way to serve the narrative point. We have a lot. We are part of the WorldSmith team. We run a Discord where there's a bunch of awesome GMs and players, and I feel like there's a lot of discussion on the Discord about railroading. It's something that comes up a lot. Should the DM have done this? Should the DM have done this? This happened at my table. I felt like it was unfair. That type of thing. So what we've done today is each one of us has come with a story of something that has happened at the table. We're going to share the story, and then each one of us is going to say yes if we think it was railroading, essentially if the DM pushed it too far, or no if we think that the DM was doing something cool that the players just should have gone along with.
Okay.
Sound good?
I like it. Yeah, I used to be so guilty of railroading when I first started, so this should be fun for new DMs who are watching.
We need to. Oh, we should have brought one of those train whistles, and then if it was railroading, we could have blown it
every time.
I can do that. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, do you want to start? I've
Sure.
heard that you have two, so you can start, and then if we have time, you can share your second one at the end.
Okay. I need your guys' help. Because later tonight I have a D&D session where I am planning.
You're considering railroading.
I'm considering railroading the party.
So timely.
Yeah, I know, right? But I want to know if it's a good idea. It's a little bit too late because I've already bought everyone custom T-shirts for the specific railroad.
Oh my gosh.
I'm wearing it right now, actually.
Show it off, dude.
It's cute. It says Walk and Talk on it.
Here's the
nice.
back of my shirt.
Oh, it's cute. I like it.
So this is the B team, okay?
Okay.
The party is going to realize that this fight that they're in, they're going to encounter this war general who has this massive army, and the goal is to make them lose. Okay, so they're going to struggle to fight these guys, and then we're going to jump to the B team. And it's all these miscellaneous NPCs that the party has encountered throughout the entire campaign. Oh. And it's going to be like a Suicide Squad type thing where like they come together and they're going to like be a week in the past. And then they're going to spend just like 2 or 3 sessions playing as this team.
Oh, that's cool.
Leading up to the point where this party is like about to get captured by this war general. And then they're going to swoop in and save the day. That is like...
I really hope they're not listening to this.
I hope you're not
listening. By the time you're done
listening.
editing, unless you edit this really fast, you should be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is happening tonight. Okay. And the question is this like a dirty thing to do, or is this fun? I bought everyone T-shirts. I was hoping it'd be like...
The T-shirts is very cool.
T-shirt is awesome.
I like that.
I made everyone custom character sheets, but this is a railroading thing to do.
So the question, though, I want to ask a slight clarifying question here.
Yeah.
Are you asking if it's railroading to say... hey you're all playing new characters now, or if it's railroading to be like, no matter how hard they fight this fight, they're going to lose?
So what I do know is this fight is too difficult to win. I know how my players are. I know their character sheets.
Logan and I just looked at each other and laughed because we were like, I've heard those famous words before.
Our last session. Yeah.
This guy, General Crag, who they're fighting, he's a beast, okay? The question isn't necessarily, is it railroading? It is it okay to railroad in this way?
Okay, to basically do hey, you're all going to play different characters for a couple sessions.
Yeah, as a player, does this feel bad or does this feel good? Okay. Right? So should we write railroading or no?
Just write yes or no.
It's yes if you think it's railroading.
Okay.
Choo-choo. And no if you think, I think this is cool and I would like it if a DM did this.
Okay.
I do have ask a clarifying question. I
Sure.
imagine these are all NPCs the players know and enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they've met the NPCs before.
They've met these people already.
Have they fought them as enemies, or just
they've never fought them? They've been allies before.
Okay, interesting. All right, cool.
So no is a good thing, correct?
No is good.
Well,
Yeah, no is not railroading. It'd be funny if you're the
I
only
do
one
think
that
it's
said
railroading,
yes.
but I think it's
I
a
don't
good
know.
thing.
Are you allowed to vote on your own? Well,
probably not.
You can reveal yours at the end.
I won't real.
I mean, he's planning on it, so let's assume he thinks it's good.
My answer's been railroaded since the moment I asked it.
And then
So
I don't know
no
if I caught
is-
quite the whole
No
situation.
is good. We would do
Maybe
it
we
as
should
a
just
DM.
do like a thumbs up from now on, or a thumbs down if we like it or not.
So
I like complicated systems. I play Dungeons and Dragons for a reason.
Okay, we'll stick with this system for now. But
Just asking a couple more clarifying questions. The idea to fight the general, is that something that the players came up with and they've wanted to do for a while, or is that something where you were like,
clarifying question?
nah, we're going to have them
forcing
fight
them.
the general. The general's going to walk in and
So
be an obstacle in their
the
way.
players haven't come up with this, but they have known that the general is leading a war party in the direction that they're heading for at least like 5 to 6 sessions.
So
now.
you don't know if they're going to fight them or not.
Well, they're on track to arrive at a location, and this
Okay.
location that they are arriving at is scheduled to be attacked.
Copy.
So
Yeah, okay,
they will
yeah, okay,
intersect.
So they can
Yes,
try
yeah.
to flee.
Yeah, if they want, they can turn around. They have the freedom to do that.
But then the general would catch them, presumably.
No, I don't think I would. I would just wouldn't give them the T-shirts yet, and I'd save that for a different moment.
Well, when were we releasing this podcast?
All right, they're fighting the general.
We have, by the nature of this podcast, we've forced you into a railroad situation. It's too late. You cannot go back.
All right, let's see your guys' answers. I need
All right,
to know.
do we want to write yes or no, or do we want to say like yes we
Like,
like it, or no
we'll say
we don't
we'll
like
say
it?
All right, I can see how this is confusing.
Is yes like approving
okay,
of it?
We'll say yes, we like it.
Yes, good.
Okay, yes is good, no
Wait,
is
what
bad.
it is.
I'm just going to do a thumbs up, thumbs down, because I think
All
that
right,
sounds...
that's fair. Yes, we like it. No, we think the DM should
Okay.
do something different.
Remember, I got them T-shirts,
Okay.
you guys.
Okay,
All
we
right.
don't need to pitch it.
Come on.
Okay, ready? Here we
Ready,
go.
steady,
3, 2,
go.
1. Hey, yes, we like it.
Yes,
we like it.
We like it.
I think it's super cool. I haven't ever done something exactly like this, but in my experience, especially if you've been running the game for a while, there's general player fatigue, I think, around playing your character. And I actually find that most players at the table, if they know that it has kind of a set beginning and end and their character hasn't died, enjoy a nice little hiatus to be like, oh, this is fun. We're going to have like a side mission where I get to play a brand new character for a while. I think you should let them pick which character they're going to play. Like, if it was
Okay.
me, I would not be like, you have to play a sorcerer, because you might have someone who's like, this. I was just playing a spellcaster and now I'm feeling bored. Like, so I would probably have them pick, but I think it's fun.
Okay.
I agree. I totally agree. Everything that he said, I love playing a new character. Almost every player does, especially when it feels like it's part of the greater story. I agree with the player fatigue thing, but it's just fun to be like, okay, the character that I love so much is still a part of this, but I have to do this other thing that's like, it's almost like taking a side quest or like an anime, like watching a
Right.
filler episode, you know,
Yeah.
like something fun like that. So I think they'll really love that. And then I think my only thought to add on to that is players are extremely surprising. They try to be really, really, really creative with this stuff all the time. Like I, just a few weeks ago, tried to run a session where I really, really set them up for failure. And they still managed to find a way to succeed. So I think as long as you're willing to compromise your vision, if they find some really cool creative solution, because if they find some really
Sure.
cool creative solution, then you like stuff it.
Yeah,
That's
that
where
that
it
feels
starts
bad.
to be
That would be
super
bad.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of... I wonder if we jumped the gun and jumping right into the stories, because we never really talked about what is railroading. Like,
Oh, he gave it.
I guess I
And,
gave
like,
a short description.
part of
But no,
this
go ahead,
did
dive into
give...
it. Yeah, dive into
but
it.
I imagine, like, we all would agree that that definition, in terms of at least a feels-based definition of what railroading is that if you came up with a cool solution and that narratively and mechanically works, but it still gets stuffed because
Yeah.
the DM didn't want it to go that way, that's definitely railroading.
Yeah.
But I think in this case, though, like, definitely not railroading, because not only have you foreshadowed there's this general in an army, I'll bet that if the players were resourceful enough and you left the clues around, they could have even found out this town is going to be under attack as they get there.
Right.
And even, like, when they get there, they can prep for a fight, because I imagine the townspeople will know.
Yeah,
Sure.
totally.
And then they've also, like you said, it's already been foreshadowed, like, this is a real deal guy. Like, the players probably know maybe it's not the best time to fight this guy.
Yep.
And so I feel like in this case, the players know all the information and it's fully in their, like, playing field. Like,
Sure.
you haven't restricted their options
Yeah,
at all.
they won't feel necessarily screwed over when they find out a general is like attacking the spot. Not the second they arrive here, but within that
At
time
some
frame.
point, yeah.
I will say, this is not quite tied into the railroading conversation, but I will say this as a word of warning to you. I did a very similar thing in the long-term campaign that I'm running, where basically like the main party was kind of trapped, and then there was like they weren't really, they used to be player characters, but then they had swapped them, but they were like back at the Spelljammer ship, and they happened to be 2 Dragonborn, and then like the third player rolled up a new Dragonborn like crew members. So it was like 3 Dragonborns, and so we called like the side quest Scales of Destruction.
Oh, these were the barbarians, right?
Well, it was a
melee team.
Yeah, it was a fighter, a ranger, and actually an artificer, but like a very combat-based artificer.
Yeah.
I will say this, a big word of warning: because they're not playing the core party, they will take insane risks.
Oh, I've had
so,
this
like,
happen to me.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
they just went crazy. Like they summoned like a greater demon, who then they tried to like hire to do this thing. Like entire villages were destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
They almost killed every single one of them. Almost died. They lost like all of the magic weapons that they had been gaining over the last 2 to 3 years. They lost the loyal, like basically in like 4 sessions, they undid like everything that the core party had worked on doing for like the last like 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
Just because it feels really fun to be playing like a new character, you want to dive right into it, and also like the stakes feel so much lower. You're like, if this character dies, I can go back to my core player who doesn't have who I've kind of built this nuanced character with. Whereas like this, now I'm just playing this barbarian guy. I'm just going to charge in. So I just say like word of caution, like it's really fun.
That's
so there's no
good to know.
problem with that at the table. I loved it. But just like be aware as a DM that like handing them a new set of characters that they know they're only going to play for 5 sessions means they're going to play different. They're going to play way riskier. They're going to go way harder. And they're also going to like care way less about the consequences, which is fun, but yeah.
The fact that these are all like NPCs who they've known and I'm assuming enjoyed interacting with, like I feel like they'll be a little more cautious.
That's
but
fair.
I
That's
do.
fair.
I have run it before where the there's this module Tales of the Yawning Portal. I ran Tales of the Yawning Portal as in like the bartender is telling a story, but the players get to play as the characters in the story, and then they get to like level up if they do it.
Yeah.
And I found out that my players, when they just don't care about the characters in the story and they have no personal attachment, they will like make suicidal like actions sometimes. They will just play so recklessly that it almost takes away any like seriousness out of the game. And so that's why I'm hoping this will be better. I do think that the party I'm doing this with is a little bit more mature, and they also know the NPCs. They care about them.
But these are pretty zany NPCs.
They are.
I know the audience
Let me
doesn't know
show
much
the
about
shirt
them,
again.
but these are crazy NPCs. I think you're setting yourself up for some
otter
crazy
wizard,
sessions.
a mind flayer. We have a druid covered in body hair. Who else? A Gundren rock seeker from Lost Mines of Phandelver.
Nice.
Right?
No, it's great. It's awesome.
So,
It's a good
stoked.
party.
I'm super
Good
stoked.
eclectic cast.
Yeah.
anyways, let's move on to the next railroading story. Who wants to go
I'll go.
next?
You want to go next?
I was running a big game of Pathfinder for a long time with some friends. We had kind of been building up to, there was basically some kind of an undead threat in the mountains. They got their way into a very kind of fun, weird like body horror crypt I had built, where basically this like this ancient king's body had become like reanimated but in pieces, and then each of the pieces had developed into its own bizarre aberration. So they would like, his intestines had turned into like a giant squid monster, and like his arms had turned into like this 20-armed like spider human body thing.
That's
and, like,
horrific.
it was horrific and terrible.
Terrifying.
And then they have to fight through all of these sections, these like weird aberrations, and then at the end, like his head is like sitting in this chair, like this throne at the end.
So gross.
Thank you.
It's so good.
Well done.
Well done.
And then he basically is summoning like an ancient god, like an eldritch god. And I wanted the god to be summoned. It basically just had to happen for the plot to go forward. But their whole thing was based on them trying to stop it. So they basically got into a fight that had like a timer on it, and they were trying to like deal him enough damage before like this and this thing happened. And I basically explicitly stated that was the case, that like if you can defeat him before like this incantation is finished, then you'll stop this thing from being released. And he just did not have a hit point pool that had an end.
Oh wow,
And then the Eldritch God was summoned, and the story continued.
this is tricky.
That's a tough one.
This is very tricky.
All right, there's your new sticky notes.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Here.
Also, for my dear friends who played Pathfinder with me many years ago, now you know.
You're gonna lose no matter what.
Where are we in the game? Like, what level are the players?
Good question. We've been playing together for about a year, probably. So probably like level 5 or 6. I run kind of slower games, level wise.
Okay.
Maybe a little higher than that.
Are there any other major plot hooks in this moment, or is this like dependent for the story to
This
move
was the
on?
main thing that they were working towards. Yeah, but they've been working towards it for a while. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have 2 sticky notes.
Ooh,
and do
2 sticky notes.
so I can show whichever one I want.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
no.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I thought you were going to give both
Yeah.
opinions.
I'm ready.
You ready to, Logan?
Um,
Okay, so it's a no if you don't like it. It's a yes if
Yeah.
you think it's cool.
Okay, 3, 2,
2,
1.
Okay, so we've got some different opinions.
Okay. What'd you put?
I have some yes.
Logan Song said
Okay,
yes.
I said no.
Oh, I said yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, where should we start with the yeses?
We'll start
or
with the
the
yeses.
no?
We'll start with the yeses.
Okay.
So, this is really tough for me because I'm probably being hypocritical. I like to try and make things like a slight sliver for success no matter what. So if I had been you, I probably would have given him a hit pool.
Just make it like 2,000.
And just made it really almost
Yeah,
impossible.
yeah,
Like
fair.
they would have had to crit every single time, or like done something really creative. But at the same time, I've set myself up for success a lot, and I'm like pretty much doing the exact same thing.
I've
as
done
you.
the same exact
Effectively,
thing.
there's no difference.
Yeah.
But I just like for my own sense of like it could happen, I let
Yeah.
it be there. So I think in reality I would do that. Like I essentially do that, but it's like 90% yes, maybe like a 10% no thing, which we shouldn't introduce in this conversation. But
No, I like that.
that's
I like that.
that's
I
my
think
point
that's-
of
yeah,
it. So,
See,
yeah.
no, I've done totally the same thing where I'm like, players take they rolled higher in initiative. So before the boss even goes, the boss is technically down. And I'm like, no, this is a boss fight. Like the players don't like it if the boss just falls over.
Yeah.
It's
got to be cool and epic in some way.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, so there's this thing that happens in Dark Souls games where the boss falls. You think that you kill the boss fight, and then it like does this minute-long cutscene where he like slowly summons a crazy sword, and it's like, why can't I hit him during this time? And it's really epic in video games, but in D&D sometimes I've run into the issue where I force a cutscene like this, and my players get really frustrated because it's like, no, I know we could have done something about it, and we couldn't. And so that can be a feel bad moment. I put no, not because I disagree with your choice to do it, because I would have done the exact same thing. I just think that there should, like Matt said, be some chance of defeating and then create a backup plan.
Yeah.
And that backup plan is the inevitable thing that happens that causes it to be summoned or something along those lines.
I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
I would not do this in a game now. I did this
Yeah.
in a game probably 10 years ago. And I think now I would fall into that camp of make it extremely difficult, but still have a narrow window for success on the off chance
Give
that
them
they
hope. Yeah.
pull out
Yeah.
something that's extremely successful. So yeah, I would actually probably say no to my own prompt at this point.
Well, and I guess to add on to that, it kind of reminds me of if you've ever seen the show Young Justice, where the good guys, it's like teenage versions of the Justice League, basically.
Okay, cool.
But the thing that I think the story does really well is they win every weekly like villain of the week episode, but even though the villains are like taken out in all of them, their underlying plan that builds up to the season finale continues to move forward. Like they always succeed,
cool.
Yeah.
even in like,
failure.
oh no, like Mr. Freeze got captured, but
Mr. Free still helped them. In
the
some
thugs
way.
got away with the secret tech that
Yeah.
Lex is now going to use in
That's
the finale.
nice. Yeah.
That's cool.
And that's honestly more the way that I'm running the game I have right now, where like it's more kind of like the big bad has like lots of contingency plans and backups, and when like they realize they're potentially gonna die, they have ways that they can like teleport out of the situation, or like I think I think I would run it different now if I was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of my issue with these things too is as a dungeon master, you have complete freedom. And
Sure.
it's really, really easy to make another backup plan or something that, like, when something falls through in your plans, great. Like, you can fix that immediately. Like, set them up for essentially failure again, or make something similar happen. But as a player, it can be difficult to come up with something that's incredibly creative and then also execute on it because you need the rolls and you need all like sometimes your spells like have to be this perfect combination. So like when players come together and like everything just works perfectly and you still make them fail, like that is
It feels bad.
like imagine in that
Yeah,
scenario
fair,
if
fair,
they
fair.
had rolled crits every single time.
They feel
and,
so
and
good.
It's just like, and they're just like, we're gonna
Everything
do
is
this,
going right.
Yeah.
Like this is awesome, and then
Yeah.
they still fail.
They're going
Then
home sad.
That's
sad.
when it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you at least have to think. You at least have to be like, you guys were legit, so
Yeah.
close. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if you
Yeah.
just know in your head there's nothing you can possibly do, then I do
Right.
think it takes a lot of the chance and suspense out of the game.
Sure.
Yeah.
So-
I would agree with that.
Well, and I used to push back on that a little bit. I do think that there are some, like, it takes a long time to build up a good boss, you know?
Mhm.
Like you mentioned, this has been built up for a while in the campaign. It feels kind of bad to throw away all that work and then try to, like, are you supposed to, like, build it all back up again? Or does it feel cheap narratively to be like, by the way, you remember that big boss you just defeated? This other guy picked up his plan, and this random guy who you don't even know at all and have no backstory with is now running
That's
with it.
fair, actually. Yeah.
Or do you have to like dig deeper and like prep even more and like try to find someone that is related to a backstory of a character?
Yeah.
Or like it's like you mentioned, there is a power imbalance. Obviously,
Yeah.
the DM has total control over a lot, where the players have to roll dice. But there's also, narratively speaking, like it's collaborative storytelling. So it's between the player and the DM, the control of the story. Like, it's kind of our job as the DM to make sure that when the players win, it was still a hard-fought, like, meaningful thing.
Yeah.
And even leading into, like, the next steps of the story.
Yeah. It comes down to kind of
Yeah.
like encounter design at the end of the day, which is kind of a separate conversation. But yeah.
Just give your boss fight silvery barbs, and that fixes everything.
Honestly, dude, there's a lot of homebrew campaigns that I play in that have silvery barbs banned, dude.
Yeah, for good
Which is
reason.
crazy.
It's such an insane spell.
Well, it's insane.
Yeah. Anyways,
cool.
okay,
All right,
Matt.
Matt.
Is it my turn? All right. So I'll read from my phone.
Okay.
So once a dungeon master invited me and some friends to play a level 20 one-shot,
Okay,
which is
fun.
very fun to do.
Yeah,
Love
I like that.
those. However, he also told us very loosely, broadly, what the campaign was or the one-shot was going to be. We were going to be capturing the Tarrasque and trying to put it onto a zoo island.
Okay, cool. Like,
Kind
like
of
Jurassic
like
Park
Jurassic
theme.
Park, yeah.
Cool.
It was like
I
this
like this.
hugely wealthy benefactor, right? And he wanted this island to be his Tarrasque Island, right?
Okay, cool.
Very cool. However, that gave us a lot of information up front to kind of prep for,
So
right?
then you could build your character. This
So,
was before building your
This
characters.
is before
Okay,
building our
okay,
characters,
okay,
which is
yeah.
where the problem lies, right?
Right.
So, 4 players essentially were able to collude and come up with a very creative, almost foolproof plan and combo of spells to just almost instantly get the Tarrasque to this island, right?
Right.
How did you do that? Soul jar mechanics?
A bunch of level
So
9
it wasn't
spells.
Soul Jar Mechanics. It's actually like, I forget the name of like the druid spell. It was like a combo of like some really powerful like cones where like you can push a Tarrasque of that
I
size
see.
level and all those
Some
things
kind of,
into
like,
a
force
tree
cage
where you're able
shenanigans.
to like take it from the tree to whatever tree that you want.
Oh,
that you've seen
that's
before,
right.
Right, and we had been and we asked the
Yeah.
DM. That was the big thing at the start of the session. We said, "Have we been to the island to like scope it out?" And he said he was like,
Wow.
"Yeah, sure, okay." And we were like, "All right, we planned
That's so
this thing on
funny.
this tree while we're there," and then we like essentially could just like push him into this tree.
Yeah.
Session over, right? We could, and again, like we could see the frustration on the DM's face as soon as he said this, and essentially he just said no, and like made the session play out in another way.
I see.
So it's tough because it's both on the fault of the players and on him, I think.
Yeah.
So you just thinking of it like as a DM, do you think he made the right call? Yes or no? Railroading that session.
I'm
there's a
ready
lot to
for
say
this
about
It's a tough one. Yeah.
I need another sticky note.
You can use mine if you want to. But,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, here.
Oh, I think I need it. Yeah. It came with 3 Sharpies, and now I have none of them.
No Sharpies. This was a tough one for me as a player.
Did you guys fight the Trask at the end?
We did fight. Well, he said no, so we had to fight the Trask.
Okay.
And I died. So and I was the only one who died.
That's
so you know what?
There's a little bit of emotion here.
For me,
Were you the druid?
I wasn't the druid. No.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Ooh,
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Cool.
So we have
Wanna
2
start with the
no's and a
nose?
yes. Yeah, let's start with the nose. I'll start. So in that scenario, I think the best thing the DM could have done is reward you guys, bring the Tarrasque over to this island. But then I would have just kept the session going because obviously that would have been a short session.
Right.
And then that's when you have the Jurassic Park breakout moment, right? Where something bad happens and you frame what essentially was supposed to be the plot of the entire story. You improvise it and you just make that the intro. And you can go from there. There's a lot of ways to improvise. I think shutting down players for being creative, even if it feels kind of metagamey, just feels bad, in my opinion.
I would agree with that. I definitely seen. I think this is what spellcasters do, and I just think that like you have to accept that in the same way that a fighter can be like, actually I do get to take 3 attacks and I do get a plus and this to the damage and stuff. Like a spellcaster gets to be like, I do get to cast this spell and exactly what the description is in the book does happen. Like if you just are at the point where you're just gonna like disregard rules because they make you not happy,
Right.
then like it's just not fair to, I think, maybe I just feel defensive of this because I always play spellcaster classes, but it's like
Yeah.
you have to like if you're just gonna say that certain spells, like even the thing of like saying silvery barb, like I think a table could agree that silvery barbs beforehand doesn't work, but like it would feel really bad if halfway through a session you were like, I use silvery barbs and the DM was like,
No.
that spell's overpowered, we're not going to
Yeah.
count it. Like you would just be like, what? Like you wouldn't tell that to a rogue. If a rogue is like, I get sneak attack damage, you wouldn't be like, actually this time no, because it's going to kill the boss, so I don't want
Yeah.
to. So it's like,
I've seen that happen a few times.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it can, but it's like you have to just kind of. I think you can rule those things beforehand at a table, but I think like you can't kind of halfway through. Now I have a larger, I feel like, conversation around session 0 prep because I think that's where the problem was in this game was
It
session
was,
0.
yeah.
Like if he was like, we're doing a level 21 shot, and it told you nothing about it, the story would be very different because he would have shown up with a mix of relatively interesting characters, and then he would have been like, here's the situation,
Right.
you get hired by this guy, you need to catch for a Trask, and you'd all be like, whoa, that sounds
And
really
there would have been
tricky.
no problem.
And
It
there
would have been
no
awesome.
problem.
Yeah.
And maybe
See-
you would have still been able to do this solution, but it would have felt like this crazy circumstance of like, no way, you've got that spell and I've got that spell, and the DM would have watched it happen at the table, and they would have been like, this is insane that you guys
Right.
solved the problem that way.
That
Like,
feels good.
Then it would have felt cool, because yeah, this is like any session that you set up this way, like this is just a bad way to run. It's just a bad way to run a session. Like
Right.
even if you were doing a level 1 party and you were like, and what you're going to do in the campaign is you're going to fight orcs, and then after fighting the orcs, you're going to go fight a necromancer. Then like your ranger would just be like, well, I'm going to pick favorite enemy orcs. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's just going to be things that are just like going to make it feel like characters are always going to play to the strengths of the campaign.
Sure.
So.
That's true.
Well, and I would say this isn't railroading because he specifically told you all what the story was going to be, and you all decided to metagame around it to end that story.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like-
right.
It's less of railroading. You all like
We railroaded.
like you
Is
railroaded to end the railroad. You just said it.
Hey.
Was that
It's Weston.
Oh my gosh.
You just said, nah, tracks end here. Boom.
Yeah.
Like without the DM's
Yeah.
like input on it, you know?
It kind of comes down to that session 0 thing of like
Yeah.
it was probably also on the players at that point to message the DM beforehand and say like, hey dude, just so you know, like we broke this already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I don't fully blame the players for that, but yeah, I think it was like both people should have just sat down and had this conversation.
Right.
So that you both realize like, oh, okay, wait, actually
And I
we're gonna
totally-
solve this problem in 5 minutes.
Like, I get from the DM's point of view, you know, the DM sitting there being like, oh, I want to tell them this cool story that we all get to play through.
Right.
And it kind of feels bad on the DM side to have the players then come and be like, we solved it, 1 round, 6 seconds, boom.
Yeah, no,
Right.
that does feel bad. But
does.
also, like, a level 20, like,
Level 20 is also too
level
high.
20 wizards can cast Wish, so it's just like
Yeah.
you can't. I don't think you can go into a one shot with a single goal,
Right.
with a
Right.
party of level 20s.
There's just so much
and not have
possibility.
some contingency because like they can just cast Wish and just be like, I want the Trask to be on the island. Like
Right.
it doesn't actually require that complex of a
Right.
combination of spells. I mean, you can fail Wish and it can not
Right.
happen, but like I think. Yeah, level 20. You have
That's
to
when
have,
you
have
just
to have
get
so many
4
backup
wizards
plans
who
when
all
you're
cast
playing
Wish.
Yeah.
level 20. But I agree with you. It's like this was also the players kind of
Yeah.
making the game not
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, the person who played the campaign.
No, honestly, I
One
think
shot.
it really was both people's fault. I don't think the DM handled it in the proper way.
Yeah.
But I also think the players made it like the hardest situation essentially for him. Because I mean, like, this was also I will say this: he was a very new DM. It was like his second session ever, and
Oh,
like
that's
he was
rough.
going up against very experienced players, and he was really excited about this. Right? And he like told us these details. And like we were young, but we were just like, screw this guy.
No,
essentially.
totally. And that's totally kind of a thing that can happen a little bit. I had to like watch myself. You know, I started a game at the marketing agency I used to work at, where I was the DM for a while, and every single player was new players.
Yeah.
And then we got to kind of like a point where one of the players wanted to DM, and then I was going to be one of the players. And I actually had to like check myself like a couple times because I was playing a wizard and I had like a bunch of spells, and like, you know, I would be like, ooh, I'm gonna pull this NPC into a room and I'm gonna have this conversation and then I'm gonna cast memory so the NPC can't remember it. Like, and I had to just kind of check myself a little bit as a player and be like, this is this guy's first time running the game.
Right.
If I do everything possible to just like make his life difficult, it's just not gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And I just have to like be like, just because I can do X, Y, and Z, because I have researched these spells and I know how to play the game well, doesn't necessarily that means it's going to be the best thing for like the table.
I agree. It's almost like sometimes as a player, it can feel really fun to prep for a session and be all in. It's almost like you're playing a strategy game, like a card game or something. You're like, oh, I'm setting myself up to win, right?
Yeah.
But you really have to remember, D&D is not necessarily about winning,
Yeah.
right? It's about the
Right.
story, and a lot of the time the most fun things are when you pull that stuff out of
Right.
nowhere and you're really creative in the moment, and it's like close or down to the wire, or just it's just naturally occurring, you know? And the cool things happen spontaneously, and sometimes as a DM, if you get rid of some of that spontaneity by railroading too much, or as a player by prepping too much, it can just take away the most beautiful part about D&D. So
True.
Well, I think this is where, to me, what like railroading means is it's really, like, a lot of people kind of shout about railroading, but actually people kind of want to be railroaded. Like,
Yeah.
if a DM gives you a sandbox, I don't know if you've ever been in a party where that's what the DM does and just says, this is the village, you go. Nothing happens.
it's the
Yeah.
worst. Yeah.
feeling.
Like people, it's the illusion of choice kind of a deal. But I think a lot of it comes down to expectations. You know, did we come here to tell approximately the same story? And in that case, then everybody's on board. And it comes, like, I guess the other thing that it kind of relates to is, I don't know if y'all know Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah.
He has a lecture on like plot twists that I think tells the exact same story of where people will feel railroading goes too wrong, which he gives the example of coming up for Christmas. You know, you say, hey, I'm going to get you this super cool car as a present, like toy car to a kid. Like they're going to be pretty excited about it. And then when they open it up, oh, plot twist, it's an airplane.
Right.
And then the
right.
kid's disappointed because they really liked cars, not airplanes.
Yeah, totally.
But it's better when the plot twist is, actually, it's a truck, and it's that truck that I noticed you really liked instead of the car that I told you I was getting you.
Right.
Right.
Or just kind of pointing the wrong. Like I had a good screenwriting teacher who would he had a lesson on like payoffs or like
Yeah.
plants and payoffs, and then I was his teaching assistant, and so like 10 minutes into the class, it's a 2-hour long class, 10 minutes into the class, I left the classroom and then I came back with a box.
This was Jeff Parkin.
Yeah.
I
I
love
came back
this.
with a box
Yeah.
and then I sat down at the table, and it's a class of 10 people, so it's like a small table, and then like
Yeah.
periodically through the class I would like peek in the box and then like close it, and there was no mention made of it, right? Like no, it was never addressed, it was nothing. And then at the end of the class he was like, who wants to know what's in the box? And everybody's like, oh my goodness, I really don't know what's in the box. And then he pulled like a tiny box out of his backpack and he's like, this is what's in the box. And it was like candy or something, but everybody was like, no, we want to know what's in that box. And it was like, I think it's like, it's that very same principle, right? It's
Yep.
like if you set up something that's in the players' minds of like, this is the mystery I need to solve, this is the job I have, this is the thing I'm working towards. And you try to be clever by being like, that thing doesn't matter, it's this thing. I think there's a lot of like let down. Yeah.
That was a good class that I attended.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome class, dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he used it as his way to say that the finale of Lost was not satisfying for all of you Lost fans out there, because he argued that they were like, that thing you wanted answered doesn't matter. What matters is they were friends. And then he's like, yeah, but you told me it mattered for 6 years. So,
well, I think it comes to, like, a lot of people think of a plot twist as that means the players don't expect it, but actually the best plot twists are things that they have hints and do kind of expect.
Yeah.
Like,
and then it's the details of what, like, to your point, it's like they don't know what the car looks like in the box, or they don't know, or it's even better or cooler than they imagine, but they still do get the answer to the question they were excited about getting the answer to.
Yeah, I think there's a big difference too between like railroading your players and derailing your train and having the train like chase down the players. And I think that's an important differentiation that we should like take away from this discussion, is that it's not necessarily bad to railroad your players, but it is bad to force your players to stay on that railroad regardless, because also as a player, it's bad of you to try and intentionally derail the campaign.
Yeah.
It's a collaborative storytelling experience, and if as a player you recognize, okay, it seems like the DM is trying to railroad us, but he got us cool t-shirts, maybe it's okay at the end of the day, you know?
Right,
that
yeah.
kind of thing.
Well,
I think that the t-shirt makes everything okay,
Yeah,
right?
And I like maybe that's a good place to like end this whole conversation, is like at the end of the day, like just remember that this is just a normal social experience with other human beings. And most of these problems can just be solved through conversation.
Yeah.
If you're at a table and you feel like the DM is like doing weird stuff, is like trying to like, is not listening to people and is manipulating, like you can just talk about it. Like you can just be like, hey, like, what are we having fun? Like is this working?
Check in.
Do we want to like do that? Like and I did, you know, I've done some kind of wild things in my campaigns before. And I often will like check in with the player afterwards, or be like, hey, you know, it would be cool if we followed this line further and you were to betray, you know, your best friend who's an NPC or something. But like, do you even want that, or is that just going to be like dumb, you know? Yeah. And a lot of times I'm really glad I do, because a lot of times the player's like, yeah, actually, like I kind of want my player to be like a noble like knight, and like I don't really want to do like a betrayal storyline. And then I'm like, okay, cool, great, awesome. Like we don't have to do that. You know what I mean? So I just think like, just talk about it. Like if you're a player or a DM and you're feeling like your players or the DM want to push things in a direction you don't want to go, then I think it's like totally valid to just chat about it, or just be like, hey, if you guys all want to play that game, then you should, but I'm actually gonna tap out then in that case, or like I don't know, like it's just hanging out with friends. Like,
and
just
I
treat it that way.
Definitely second that. Like the best group I've ever played in that I'm still playing with is the biggest thing is just communication. Like when something happens, like I'll get a message from them and they'll be like, hey, this kind of, you know, I felt like, once again, those expectations, they're like, hey, I kind of thought that we had decided this. And I'm like, well, looking at my notes, we actually decided this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry that you felt bad about that. How can we make it, you know, how can we avoid this problem in the future?
Yeah.
How can we make it still feel good now?
Yeah. And sometimes for those moments, like sometimes it can be helpful to kind of reveal to the players, like, hey, like, I swear, like if, for example, a monster does something that's like crazy, sometimes I will, like, this is a small example of that, but I will just be like, no, they actually did roll a nat 20, that was insane, or like I actually did roll maximum damage, I'm sorry, I did not think that would happen. Like just those moments of transparency of kind of like, I promise I'm not trying to like pull the wool over your guys' eyes, like,
or you like show them the stat block and it's like, yeah, they actually do have this one specific like I don't know why they have this magic like weird utility spell that negates this whole thing, but they actually have it.
Yeah, totally. Like I think those moments can be helpful to check in either before or after the session and be like, yeah, I also didn't expect that to happen or something. And also like I'm not above a retcon either. Like if a player comes to me afterwards and they were like, dude, that like really disappointed me, I really don't want to lose that magic item, like honestly, like now I'm not excited to show up to the next session. Yeah. Like it's not worth it for me. Like I'm happy to go back and be like, okay, actually the ooze didn't disintegrate that sword, they disintegrated this other item you have instead. Like I don't know. It's not like high stakes television here. Like you're playing a game with friends. It's like you could it's fine.
Change the time.
Not Critical
Yeah.
Role. It's not Dimension
Yeah.
20. It's not
Right.
any of these things.
Exactly. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to like ruin a friendship over a
Yeah.
little plot point you're really excited about in your D&D game.
Just have fun, play the game. Yeah.
Agreed. Alrighty, well, we're coming to the end of our time. We'd love to hear in the comments your stories about railroading or railroad trains chasing people down.
Absolutely.
So-
That's only happened twice so far in my campaigns, but
and I'm really excited to hear how your session goes with your players.
Yeah.
You'll
yeah,
have to-
I'll let you know next week.
yeah,
That
please
actually
do a
sounds
report
awesome.
next week. Yeah,
Sounds
yeah,
good.
we'd love to hear that.
All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Okay, take care. Bye.